Recently, my boyfriend and I have rescued two dogs. One was back in January 2019, the day before she got euthanized, and the second one was a little recent. It was the beginning of this past October, and it was right at the time to where he was able to leave his mom, and we were able to adopt him as soon as he was into the shelter. Since we have brought this responsibility into our lives, it made me realize more positive outcomes for rescuing or adopting animals rather than shopping for them. When you're shopping for animals in pet stores or from a home, it's much more expensive, and they have a greater chance at finding a home and a less chance of being euthanized rather than from animals at adoption shelters or pounds. It has a more powerful meaning when rescuing or adopting. You're saving a life, you're breaking the cycle of pet overpopulation, and you're helping stop cruelty in mass breeding facilities. If you or someone you know is interested in owning an animal but don't know if there's a better alternative to shopping for animals, then listen closely. Call to action 1. You're saving a life. A dog is for life and not just for Christmas. If you are looking to, you know, adopting, rescuing, or shopping for a dog for someone for Christmas, please make sure that they are up for the responsibility. And if it is a child, please make sure their parents are 100% on board with helping their child take care of the animal. And when it's not like their main priority anymore, it's the parents' priority to make sure this animal has a good life. 2.6 million animals are euthanized each year. 1.2 are dogs and 1.4 are cats. You're giving this animal a second chance that were abandoned by who they thought would be their forever families, and now they don't think they will ever get that second chance, and you are showing them that there is another chance, or that you know animals that are in the shelters or in pounds are able to get a second chance. You're possibly getting an older dog or older animal, cat, anything that you were possibly hoping for, but again, you're giving them another chance. Call to action number 2. You help break the cycle of pet overpopulation. 3.9 million dogs are brought into animal shelters, and 3.4 million are cats nationwide each year. Mass breeding shelter facilities, or puppy mills, that they focus on raising their profit with little elevated cost. The health of the animals isn't a major priority for them, which is horrible. They don't care how they sleep, what is in their food or water bowl, or if they get enough exercise that animals should have. There would be more homes for animals that are being born instead of them going to animal shelters. Call to action number 3. You help stop cruelty in mass breeding facilities. Puppy Mill Project states 167,400 breeding dogs are currently in the United States Department of Agriculture licensed commercial facilities for breeding purposes at this very moment. Female hounds are reproduced at every opportunity that they get. As soon as they give birth to a litter, they're right back into breeding. They have zero recuperation time between litters, and then following a couple of years, if they cannot reproduce anymore, they are later then killed. They are literally being bred to death. Adopting from animal shelters means you don't support the cruel ways of mass breeding facilities. If you shop or know someone whose dog just had puppies and you want to go get a dog from them, this does not mean that you support, the cruel ways. But adopting and rescuing, just, you're helping it, you're helping this animal, or you're helping it not be a cruel, if that, makes sense. Just because you do one does not mean that doing the other way does not mean you support it. Dogs wouldn't be used as slaves to breed constantly for money. The needs met. For timeliness, rescue when you are financially stable and ready to take on a responsibility of owning and providing for that animal. If you think, I'm like, oh yeah, I make just enough money for myself, I could totally take on an animal, trust me, I thought the same way, but I was able to get back on track and then be able to take on to another one. Proximity, to give people another option to save an animal's life rather than shop for an animal that will most likely find a home, rather than animals that most likely don't have a home, is either, being rescued or being euthanized. Some people think rescuing a dog isn't a good idea because they could come from a bad home or in the pound for a reason. because they could be dangerous. If they were dangerous to the point to where they needed to be taken from their families, then they would be euthanized. But if they are, most likely in a shelter, especially if you talk to the people there, they should know the background. Some animals are, especially puppies, are thrown into boxes and put on the side of the road. It could possibly, be in so much danger, be hit by a car, be killed that way, which is horrible. Other animals, think that they're going for a ride with their owner and they get dropped off and, are never seen again. Um, uh, they aren't giving those animals a chance to show them their love and affection that are being hidden by the pain and sadness that they endured. Giving a shelter animal a chance is something I believe more people should do rather than pay more money for an animal that has a higher chance of finding that forever home, especially puppies. Puppies are in rescue shelters, and pounds too. But, when you go to a pet store and you see puppies, more people are wanting to buy puppies because they think they're cuter. And that the older dogs that are at shelters, especially the older ones, like, no, I don't want that. That one's ugly. Or, no, that one's too old. I don't want that. Those are the ones that have the biggest heart. I promise you. Especially the first one that me and my boyfriend got has the biggest heart, and the way she has changed is so great. My references are Helping Hands Humane Society Incorporated. Um, this one is a website, is communitycarecollege.edu. Do something at .org, and the puppyandmoonproject.org. Thank you.